Okay, so what if I told you there's this ancient text, one that's pretty much unknown in the West, that holds a totally radical key to understanding your own mind, reality, and consciousness itself? Well, today we're going to dive into the epic world of the Yoga Vasishta. You know that feeling, right? That sense of dissatisfaction, even when, on the surface, life seems pretty perfect. Well, this isn't just some modern problem. It is a timeless human question. And it's a question that a young prince was grappling with thousands of years ago, which, believe it or not, sits at the very heart of our story today.
But here's the thing. For this prince, that deep existential dread wasn't the end of the road. No, it was actually the catalyst for one of the most profound philosophical dialogues in history, a journey into the truly mind-bending world of the Yoga Vasishta.
So, to really get what this text is all about, we have to first understand the crisis that started the whole thing. So let's meet our protagonist, the young Prince Rama. I mean, by all accounts, Rama should have been on top of the world. He was the heir to this huge kingdom, everybody loved him, and he'd just gotten back from a grand tour where he'd seen every amazing wonder you can imagine. But seeing all that fleeting beauty, from sacred rivers to holy shrines, didn't fill him with joy. Instead, it filled him with this deep, profound sadness about how nothing ever lasts. He fell into what the text calls Vairagya, this profound state of detachment. And this wasn't just being bored or apathetic, it was a burning indifference to all the things the world values. Right there in his father's royal court, he started questioning the point of everything: wealth, power, life itself. This was a full-blown spiritual crisis. But Rama's crisis doesn't just fizzle out into despair. Nope. His very question is what opens the door to one of the most comprehensive spiritual dialogues ever recorded. See, in response to Rama's desperate questions, the great sage Vasishta kicks off this monumental talk. And this isn't just a simple Q&A. We're talking about a 22-day immersive teaching designed to completely take apart and rebuild Rama's entire understanding of reality. And when I say this answer is epic, I am not kidding. The full English translation of this dialogue comes out to around 1 million words. Just to put that number into perspective for you, that makes it way, way longer than the entire King James Bible. It's a truly monumental piece of work. Now, a text that big isn't just long for the sake of it. It's incredibly deep. So what's the central idea? Let's get right to it, but I gotta warn you, it's a concept so profound, it basically challenges the foundation of everything you think you know about the world. Vasishta's core message to Rama is just completely radical. He says that this material world we perceive, the one that feels so solid and real and out there, it's not real in the way we think it is. It's actually a projection of consciousness, and it functions in the exact same way as a dream. The text uses these beautiful analogies to help you wrap your head around it. Our world, with all its separate things, is like waves on the ocean's surface. But the underlying reality, the true substance, is the single, undivided ocean of pure consciousness. Or think about jewelry. You might have a ring or a necklace, but the essence is always just gold. The forms change, but the substance stays the same. So the text argues that what's happening is just a massive error of perception on a cosmic scale. You know, just like you can mistake a rope for a snake in a dark room or see a mirage in the desert, our senses are constantly fooling us into believing that this dream of a world is a solid, separate reality. So how on earth does Vasishta teach such a radical, reality-shattering idea? Well, not with dry, boring philosophy, that's for sure. He uses a method that's just as layered and complex as the teaching itself: stories. The entire book is put together like a set of Russian dolls. It's literally stories inside of more stories. And this isn't just some clever literary trick. It's designed to actually mirror the core message, that reality itself is made up of all these different layers of consciousness. I mean, check out the incredible story of a guy named Gadi. He sits down to meditate, and in what feels like a split second, he lives an entire detailed lifetime. I'm talking he's born, he grows up, becomes a king, rules for years, and then dies. And then, poof, he snaps back to reality and almost no time has passed. But here's the twist. He travels to the places from his daydream, and he discovers that the cities, the people, the whole history, it all actually exists. Stories like this are designed to just completely shatter the line between what we call real and what we call a dream. Okay, I know this all might sound incredibly abstract, but if the world is a dream, what does that actually mean for us, the dreamers? Well, the Yoga Vasishta brings it all back home to a very personal, Very practical and deeply empowering conclusion. The crystal clear on this point, liberation isn't something that's just handed to you by gods or teachers or some religious ritual. True awakening, true freedom has to come from your own effort and your own insight. It completely reframes the whole idea of fate or karma. It basically argues that what we call fate is just the momentum of our past thoughts and actions. But, and this is so important, the effort you put in right here, in the present moment, is always more powerful. So, the ultimate power isn't about changing the world outside of you. It's about the practice of self-inquiry, of turning your attention inward, questioning your own mind, your own beliefs, and choosing to wake up from the dream by realizing that you are, and you always have been, the dreamer. In the end, the Yoga Vasishta doesn't give you a dogma or a set of rules to follow. What it leaves you with is this profound shift in perspective. It suggests that we're not just passive observers living inside some pre-made world. We are actively creating it, every single moment with every single thought. And that's a question that really challenges us to take total responsibility for our own experience. It's a question that is just as relevant and just as powerful for us today as it was for a disillusioned prince thousands and thousands of years ago.